We begin tonight on the eve of runoff election day with Mayor Joe McComb and his opponent, Michael Hall. Both candidates came to the 3 News studios to make their final pleas for your votes. Our Taylor Alanis joins us now with what each had to say. Taylor.
Yeah, Mackenzie, by this time tomorrow, we might have an idea of who will be Corpus Christi's next mayor. Will it be incumbent Joe McComb or political newcomer Michael Hall? We talked with both this morning to hear why they believe citizens should vote for them. Mayor Joe McComb says he wants to continue to serve the community, and the city has a lot on its plate coming up that they'd like to complete over the next 2 years. McComb says he was impressed by the number of early voters there was, and he hopes that's a sign that a lot of people will head to the polls tomorrow. He says all he wants for Christmas is the voters' vote.
You want somebody that has a demonstrated record, that has proven stability, is committed and invested in the community, and but it's a decision the voters make.
His opponent, Michael Hall, a Chicago native, moved to Corpus Christi a few years ago. Hall says he wants to make the city a place his daughter will always be proud to call home. The engineer says his biggest challenge back in August was that most people didn't even know who he was. So he spent 4 months of intense campaigning, going door to door, getting his name out there. He says he hopes his hard work pays off and the community rallies behind him.
I do large capital project management and I do engineering. When you have a city whose biggest problems are infrastructure and debt, you need someone who's willing to tackle those problems.
And both candidates want to stress the importance of local elections and encourage voters to head to the polls tomorrow, no matter who you choose to vote for. Mackenzie.
Okay, thank you, Taylor.